Hi, I'm Carly McAvoy. We're talking about subtracting signed numbers. This is the first of a few videos on this topic. When we subtract signed numbers, it's sometimes easier to change the problem to an addition problem because it's hard to visualize subtraction. So let me show you how you would make that change. Whenever we're changing a subtraction problem to an addition problem, we never change the first number. So all the first numbers will always stay the same. So remember, you don't change that first number because it doesn't have anything in front of it that makes us want to change it. We want to change the subtraction. Always that subtraction becomes an addition. Subtraction becomes addition. Subtraction becomes addition. Subtraction becomes addition. I want to show you the 4 at a time because I want you to see no matter how the problem, it could look a little different, but the process is the same. Now you have to go back and change the sign of the following number. You have to make two changes. You have to change the operation and then you change the sign of the next number. So that -3, we're going to change it to +3. This was 6, so we're going to change that to -6. This was -4, so we're going to change that to 4. And this was 10, so we're going to change that to -10. Notice I can write parentheses around my negative, or I can put the negative symbol a little higher. It means the same. The thing is, we're going to get the same answer because when you subtract a negative, you actually gain. So that's why we can make that a +3. If I think about subtracting like debt, if I take away three debt, I'm actually coming out ahead, right? So we can use our calculator to show that these are the same. So let's look at the first one. The first one, we had 5 minus, and that subtraction is here on the side, and then we're subtracting negative. That negative symbol is down here at the bottom, -3, and then hit enter. Well, 5 minus -3 is 8. And what was the one that we did was 5 plus 3, that's also 8. So those are the same. They have to be two changes, though, to make that the same. You have to change the operation and change the sign of the following number. So that means that when I have 5 and I take away 3 negatives, I actually add 3 onto 5. Let's look at the next one. The next one, we had a -4 using my negative symbol, and I'm subtracting 6. And when I have -4 and I subtract 6, I get -10. Think about our addition that we did before. If I have 4 negatives and 6 more negatives, they're both negatives. I just get a total of negatives. How many negatives altogether? Well, it's -10. Sometimes people think about subtraction this way. If you owe somebody $4 and then you owe somebody $6 more, because a negative is like owing or being in debt, owe 4, owe 6, you owe a total of 10, right? You're $10 in debt. You're going down, down, down. Okay, so let's look at this one. We had -7 and we're subtracting a -4. So -7 minus -4. That's -3. Doesn't makes you want to say 11 or something, right? But you have negatives and you're taking away some of those negatives. This one's easy to visualize because you have negatives and you're taking negatives away. So if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 negatives, and then you come in and you take away 4 of those negatives, what's left? Yeah, it's -3 left because you took away 4 of the negatives that you had. But they don't all visualize that nicely. Or the other thing is you owed $7, you paid $4, so where do you now? Well, you still owe $3 or -3. This adding you can do, we did that in the last few videos. What about here? This one you might be able to do without making the change. This is one people can visualize. If you have $3 and you go to buy something that costs 10, you're short money, right? How much are you going to be short? Well, you're going to be short $7 or -10. You can see that that happens. 3 minus 10 in our calculator is -7 because we're trying to take away more than we ever had to begin with. So what I would like you to do in the beginning is to change your problems, your subtraction problems, into addition problems. And eventually, you won't need to make that change because you'll be able to do that in your head. But start off making the change, okay? And I want you to try these, and then right, that was pretty easy. But so go ahead and try them, pause the video, and then come back. Okay, hopefully you did that, because you can't learn just watching me. You have to try them. So what I'm going to do is make sure I don't change the first number. I definitely am going to change the subtraction to addition, and then I have to change the next number. That number was 4, so it changes into -4. Now I can work it as an addition problem. I've got 4 negatives and 1 negative. Those are all negatives. I've got -5. For the second one, I'm not going to change that first number. The second thing I do is change that subtraction to addition. Third thing is change the sign of the next term. -2 becomes +2, and then I can work that problem. I have more negatives than positives by 5, so I get -5. In the next problem, I'm not going to change the first number. I'm going to change subtraction to addition, and then I'm going to change the sign of the next term. -4 changes to +4. 8 plus 4 is 12. And for the last one, I don't need to change that. 18 minus 12 is 6. We know that. But to follow the process and see that it always works, the subtraction becomes addition. I'm going to change 12 to -12. I have more positives than negatives by 6. All right. There's your introduction to subtraction. I'll see you next time.